Okay, so this is for you after the narcissist makes you feel like you're socially awkward. Almost all the time, when narcissists call you or make you feel like you're socially awkward, it's a projection. And I'm going to share with you exactly why with multiple stories, so stay tuned in. So, what narcissists will do is they will act like a threat, they will be unsafe, they will be dominating and intimidating, and your body will have a normal reaction to that threat. It will go into protection mode, it might go into a freeze state where you don't know what to say, and you might awkwardly laugh or awkwardly say something. Have you experienced that? And you're not socially awkward, you are fawning in response to a threat. So they cause a reaction in you by being dominating and threatening and unsafe. And then when you pull back and you feel a little bit uncomfortable around them, they tell you you're just like anxious or like socially awkward. No. You're responding to reality. The reality that they're trying to hide from everybody and from you. And when they try and hide it from you, they convince you you're things like socially awkward. So that's gaslighting, right? That's gaslighting. And narcissists can be very calculated with this. Like, whenever they have a narrative they want to spread about you, they will kind of like incite reactions and behavior out of you that will prove that narrative to them and to others. And they'll like always be looking for proof of it too. Like, they'll take things you say out of context, completely out of context, and then like show it as proof that you're like exactly what they said you are. But anyways, so I'm going to share with you another story. So I joined this friend group for a short amount of time. It was like a 3-person friend group. And I was in the car with these people, and I wonder if I should give them names. We'll say Ryan and Todd. Okay? So I meet Todd for the first time. He doesn't really talk very much. The whole time Todd and Ryan and us are in the car, Ryan is like like yelling at Todd like while he's driving, like telling him he's a bad driver and all these things, and like narcissistically correcting him when he doesn't need to be corrected. Okay? And so Todd's a little bit anxious, obviously. I would be anxious too. Todd's a little bit anxious. And when I'm in the passenger seat with Todd, driving, and I'm trying to like tell Todd where to go. And Todd's driving completely fine. There's no need for me to yell at him. He's actually driving great. Okay? So Ryan is like sabotaging Todd and like making Todd feel bad. And the whole time we're hanging out, Ryan keeps telling Todd that he's socially awkward and that he just has bad socializing. And it's like, I'm trying to get Todd's phone number to just hang out as friends. And Todd's like, and Ryan's like, he's just really bad at socializing. He's just like really bad at socializing. And the funniest part about this is that Todd, when I hung out with him, was the only person in that friend group who could have a conversation with me. He was the only person in the friend group who could have a conversation without being a bully and a piece of shit. Every time I tried to talk to Ryan, he would like try and like one up me. He'd like ignore me. He'd like try to play these like manipulative power games. And he's saying Todd is the socially awkward one, bad at socializing? Huh? And when I hung out with Todd, we were like talking about fucking demons and conspiracy theories and shit, and like, bruh. So he was great at socializing. But he had people in his ear always telling him that he was bad at socializing, and it was a projection. Ryan was projecting that onto Todd. Ryan was bad at socializing. And maybe he was jealous. I don't know for sure. And then when he's jealous, he tries to make Todd think that he's just like him. Like, put him down with him. Okay? And so all I saw in Todd was that he was pretty anxious because he had a lot of bullies in his life. And talking to him was actually great and fine. And then here's another thing. He opened up to me for advice about something. And he was talking about his mom. And the behavior he described from his mom was so abusive. I was like, whoa. He said that his mom, like, comes home every day insulting them, and that, and he was kind of making excuses for her, saying, like, she doesn't mean to, and all these things. And his mom did this, like, manipulation tactic against him that was really sneaky. And he kept telling me that he just has this deep-seated feeling like something's wrong with him. Like, he just feels like something's wrong with him. And it was hard for me to support him because he was so, like, convinced of, like, his mom not being the problem. Like, he was so convinced that he was the problem, really. It was hard for me to support him. But he kept saying there was something wrong with him, and he shared this story about him and his mom, where his mom implied that he had some disorder, but wouldn't give him clarity when he asked. And that's a manipulation tactic. So his mom implies he has a disorder and that there's something wrong with him. Then when he asks for clarity like a normal human being, she withheld clarity. And what that did was it caused Todd to, like, chase after that clarity, and he started looking in other outside sources for, like, what's wrong with him, like, what disorder does he have. And what was wrong was that his mom was manipulating him and bullying him. You know, there was nothing wrong with him. You know, while he was, like, trying to look for what's wrong with him and thinking he's socially awkward, I saw a person who was capable of normal conversation, who was actually fun to talk to, and who was anxious and in pain and dealing with a lot at home. You know, he thought that he had an attention deficit, ADHD, for, like, scrolling on YouTube Shorts, and I was just like, hey, like, it makes sense that you scroll on Shorts or, like, TikTok with everything you're going through. Me personally, when I was going through a lot in my life, like, all the time, I scrolled a lot. And I didn't have a focus problem. I was actually an excellent focuser. I had a coping need, you know? So yeah, that's my story about Ryan and Todd. Ryan was always telling Todd he was socially awkward. He wasn't, ever. He was the only person who could have a conversation. Let's talk about what surface level conversations are, guys. Like, surface level conversations, what that really means is that everyone's avoiding the truth. And when people are acting surface level, what that is a code word for bullying each other. Like Ryan, all he ever did really was bully and manipulate. That's almost all that came out of his mouth, toxicity. And that is surface level. To stay surface level, you have to constantly avoid and distract yourself from the truth. And people do that by bullying. You know? And so having deep conversations, the ability to have real conversations without bullying people, isn't some, like, flaw. That's humanity. Depth, that's intimacy. To have a deep conversation with someone is to be intimate with them. And so I'll tell you another story. I had this happen to me at a job. This girl, every time I try and talk to people, she just ignore me. It's just like, wouldn't respond. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what's wrong, but whatever. Okay, and then later, she comes up to me and she says, if I ever say anything that offends you, let me know. And then a couple sentences later, she's like, you're socially awkward. So that was manipulation, right? She admitted she was about to insult me. And then did it. And she was trying to seem like innocent by saying like, oh, I don't mean to. So if I ever say anything that offends you, like, let me know. And then she says something that offends me. Then I'm socially awkward. Right? But we see here with her behavior that she's socially awkward. She can't answer a basic question because, like, to me, if you don't know what to say, then say that. Like, if you don't want to talk to me, then say that. If you have a problem with me, then say that. You know? When I have a problem with someone's behavior, I say it. Yeah, because I have boundaries. I have self-respect, self-worth. I care about myself. I have a passion to care about myself. You know? And there's more, but let me get it back. Oh, sorry, the Winston. He's just, I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, not in a mean way. Like, I don't know why he's always upset. Okay. I just accidentally let the cats outside. How do you go get him? He'll run away. Okay. Have you ever dealt with, like, popularity cliques? Like, people, like, popular girls who are kind of mean? Ever dealt with that? So this falls, like, really deeply into, like, social awkwardness. When people are used to this, like, clique-based way of relating and this, like, popularity contest way of relating, they interpret treating people with equality as social awkwardness. Something socially wrong with you. One of the social rules of clique dynamics and popularity dynamics, the unspoken social rules that nobody fucking tells you, is that when someone is labeled as less than, or not popular, or not cool, that you don't talk to them. You ignore them. And if you treat people with equality, and you talk to everyone like a normal human being, you're breaking the social rules. You're like, and you'll become a threat. Because when you do that, you'll be targeted. This has happened to me. Because when you do that, you show them how stupid their fucking cliques are. How it's all a bunch of lies. How stupid the popularity games are. You know? Everybody deserves kindness, no matter who they are. And so what happens is the people at the bottom of these popularity contests and cliques are labeled as socially awkward and shy. They're not socially awkward and they're not shy. They're quiet sometimes because people don't talk to them. They're quiet because people scapegoat them and are mean to them. And that's not social awkwardness, that's self-preservation. And so there's another dynamic that can happen where socially gifted people, yeah, let's call them that, what they really are. Socially gifted people will go around and talk to everyone. And they'll have extreme anxiety when they're talking to people. They'll be oversharing like a motherfucker. And it's because the people that they're talking to are unsafe, manipulative. I've witnessed this. It's like when you are socially gifted and you don't have the, like, self-preservation of, like, being quiet and silencing yourself. It's like you go over and you talk to everybody and you think they're safe. And then, like, some people are manipulating you into oversharing. They're bullying you and they're making little, like, crude covert marks and, like, slights at you. And then, like, the person is, like, feeling the bullying and then they're blaming themselves and then they're, like, triggered and then they're really anxious, and then that makes them share more and they seem extremely socially awkward. They're not socially awkward. They're socially gifted. It's a gift to look at people and want to talk to everyone. Think about kids. When they see someone, they're like, hey. They don't cast out people of the playground. They don't cast people off the trampoline because they're lower than them. They're socially gifted. They treat everyone with kindness, equality. And socially gifted people do that too. And then jealous people, they come over and they're like, they're jealous. They could be jealous, they could be envious, they could be miserable inside, whatever it is. They're jealous. And then they try and make that person look like what they are. Narcissists really do this. They try and knowingly force reactions to make their victims look like the narrative they've created. Lower than, shy, socially awkward. But if you talk to these popular people, their whole cliques and popularity games are just a cover-up for the fact that they have no idea how to socialize. This shy person that no one talks to, that everyone scapegoats and bullies, that's just a cover-up for the fact that the bullies are bullies. Okay? So if you treat people equally, if you're kind to everyone, if you talk to people, you'll be breaking the invisible social rules of people who operate in cliques. Okay? And you are socially gifted. You treat people with equality. You make them look dumb. Because it is dumb to cast people lower than you and exclude them. Everyone can be included. But they need that scapegoat, right? To convince themselves that they're not the problem. Okay? I've also had people call me shy. I ain't shy. I'm not shy at all. But I do have boundaries with people who are bullies. And it's like, this is what they do. They bully you. They bully the crap out of you. And then when you stop talking to them, you're shy and socially awkward. Huh? No, I'm not. What? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're socially gifted. And the thing about social gifts is that they unite people. They make people succeed. Socially gifted people. They make people feel good. And people that succeed and feel good and have high self-esteem don't put up with bully shit. And bullies hate that. They want perfect little targets that take all their shit. Okay? But they can't always get what they want because their desires aren't coming from a true place. And so there's other forms of gaslighting that can come in. In my last video, I talked about how at one place people would, or in one of my videos, at one workplace, people would look at me puzzled when I was acting completely normal. Like, I'd be on the register, like, happy as can be, talking to the guests, trying to give them excellent service, just focused on my service. And I kid you not, the managers would be huddled up in the corner, like, whispering, like a fucking clique. And then they come up to me and be like, are you okay? When I was just like happily treating people with kindness. Okay? And so they're looking at me puzzled, right? And that puzzled reaction is what happens when you see someone who's like actually antisocial. And that's the gaslighting. I hope this is making sense. Like, in my recent video, I talked about how when some girl was like dominating and intimidating people and like talking to herself, that people were looking at her puzzled. And that's a normal reaction to someone who is dominating, trying to intimidate, and saying things that are confusing. Looking at them puzzled. And so this gaslighting that was occurring was like, I'm being a normal human being, happily talking to guests and doing my job well. And there's people huddled in a corner looking puzzled by that, acting like I am acting antisocial. When what's actually antisocial is huddling in a corner and gossiping about people. Huddling in a corner and gossiping about people is antisocial. Being so jealous of someone that you start a smear campaign. Having an issue with someone and not talking to them about it. Because that's the thing. The reason why these bullies will have an issue with you and not talk to you about it is because if they said it out loud, they'd see how ridiculous it is. They can't talk to you about it because it's ridiculous. What? We think you're crazy because you're doing a good job? They can't say that. Hey, we don't like how nice you're being to the guests because you make us look bad. They won't say that. Hey, we don't like how kind you are to the shy people because you make our cliques look stupid. So we're going to just gossip about you and try to make you think you're crazy. Okay, that's crazy behavior. So this stuff is real. Again, please hold my vulnerabilities gently when sharing these things with you. There are people, when we have illusions in our consciousness, we can be quick to enable bullies and validate the bullies and invalidate and gaslight the victims, but we gotta move through that. It's safer to not enable bullies. Okay? So, I love you. This is my projection series to give you a dose of reality when you need it. You're not socially awkward. You're socially gifted.